What? Oh, that's a good song. What's up, y'all? It's R9cast, if it's blind, dish, conquer, crucial, and click the buttons, click the buttons, there's the click the buttons. Something, the Concrete Show. Oh, that's the wrong one. There it is. Super Dope Show for us9.com, representing allgames.com. I am Stephen D. Gibson, aka SG, aka Electron Bandit, aka I just watched the highlights, if you will, of the Ubisoft, whatever it's called, UB Forward, UB Tripping. What was it called? It was something. It was something. It was like it was a thing that happened that had graphics on it. Anyway, before I begin to dip into that stuff, and we'll talk a little bit more about Hamilton, of course, because it's the best thing ever. Yeah, allgames.com. Go there. It's a brand new site. You know when you buy new sneakers or a new car? I think those are the two new. I can tell you the new things, right? You could be like, yo, you getting that new car? You're like, it smells all good and stuff. Like, I love that new car smell. I mean, it's just chemicals that will kill you, but it's still good. It's good. Also, FYI, before I continue that, and then continue that, I got a new camera setup. It's not a new camera. It's an old camera, but here's the thing. So back in the day, a couple of weeks ago, Canon released a thing where they have a website utility thing, webcam utility app, if you will, whatever. And you could just use a select whatever of Canon cameras you could use for using as a webcam. Plug a USB and boom, you're good to go, right? And so I was like, my camera ain't on the list. Hot diggity doggity. And then I just plugged in my camera and it worked. I downloaded the plugin that they had that didn't include my camera, which is the 60D, and it worked. So I'm like, okay. So that's what I'm using now. I'm not using the Kinect camera anymore. The Kinect camera is right here. It's here. I can't pull it. Here it is. Can you see it? That's the Kinect camera. It's not plugged in. See? I mean, that actually is plugged in. It's just not facing anything. I think I'm going to probably change that camera to the keyboard cam and use my keyboard cam as the puppet cam. And use the puppet cam as... I don't have a puppet cam. So use the... Yeah. Anyway, it works. And so I have a wide angle lens. You could change the lenses on. So it's okay. It's like, instead of like leaving it in a box for 1,000 years, you use it for that. And it's all right. So yeah, that's one cool thing about that. Anyway, back to what I was talking about before, which I forgot. Go to All Games. New brand spanking new site. Yes, it's new car smell, new sneaker smell. It smells good over there. That's the point. I got a haircut. I gave myself a haircut today. See? But I didn't shave, so it doesn't feel like I cut my hair. It does, but it doesn't. It's like I kind of feel scrabbly. I feel clean but scruff. Clean scruff. Anyway, I think what I need to do, because I take showers outside now because I'm a freaking hippie. I'm a freaking wild man. I'm not a hippie. I'm a nerd. I think more so than a hippie. Yeah, a nerd that could dance pretty good. Although I stopped dancing because it's bad for the knees. And also I had nobody to dance with. So there's that. But yeah, take a shower outside. I got to redo the shower more, make it more better and beautiful. But I don't know if y'all ever did this. Taking a shower outside, I kind of get it now. I get it. Like, man, why you going to take a shower outside? Were you some naturalist, some tree hugger? I don't know why I said it like that. And then you take a shower outside and the sun is beaming on your body, and you like the splash makes a little. You got your own little personal rainbow in your shower. You're like, oh, that's all right. Then the birds are tweeping in the back, like tweepity tweep, and you're like, that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? You scribbling and scrubbling, and it's like all nice. And then it's like, say if it's a hot day, like every day is down in Florida, right? It's 1,000 degrees, but you take a shower, right? And I take hot showers, so I take a hot shower in the hot summer sun, and it doesn't feel as hot, and then if there is a slight breeze, it actually feels cooler. You got fresh air. It's like all the pluses of everything. You don't have not too many mosquitoes because it's moving air. So I mean, it's moving air, it's moving water. So they're not gonna be like bzzz all over you. It's not bad. We still got some stuff. I still have some stuff to do to make it a better experience. But I tell Bridget, I was like, Bridget, once you take a shower outside, you ain't gonna wanna take a shower in the little closet of the little bathtub, little shower. It's like it's because the area that we built, or that the previous owner built that we just left, is about, I don't know, it's 8 by 5 or 6 or something, like 8 by 6. So what is that? 8 by 5. That's 40 square feet for the shower. That's how big it is. And so I'm like, it's bigger than this room. Yes, it is bigger than this room. And another thing about it is that the pressure is stronger because, in the wall copper pipes aren't that big. They're okay, but the pipes out there, I think they're pretty much the same, but they feel bigger. I think they're a little bit bigger. Irregardless, that's a new word, in the dictionary actually. It's more pressure. It's like I turn them on, it's like, I'm like, oh, this is so good. I think maybe because it's closer to the pressure tank, it's less about, because the regular shower inside the house is farther away from so it has more. I don't know. Actually, that shouldn't matter unless it's a leak in the house somewhere, which I don't think there is. What up, Tiger Claw? Thanks for the... Yes. Well. Anyway, yeah. So outdoor showers are the bomb. I love it. Just gotta make it a little bit more better. And if you want to peek over the fence and look at my balls, have fun. I don't care. I'm not inviting. I'm just saying, if you just happen to peek over and see my big hairy coconuts, then hey, don't be scared. Don't be scared, and also don't be like, ew, he showed me his coconuts. Like, no. Your eyes trespassed into my shower, my yard. So that's ocular trespassing. Is that a thing? It should be a thing. Ocular trespassing. So that's on you. If you want to file charges, press charges against me, then you're the one committing the crime. Yes? I believe so. Oh, I forgot to put it in chat. The show is now. Oh boy, that was bad. HTTPS boop beep beep. Twitch. I'll just do Twitch. Oops. Because, you know why? Because I got Hamilton in my brainium. Pentangovanium. Uranium. I can't even spell. The show is now. There you go. But yeah, so yeah, outdoor shows are the bomb. Hamilton is still good. My favorite song, just to update, this will be the last time I really talk about Hamilton. Favorite song in Hamilton is Wait For It. Wait For It by Leslie Odom Jr. That's a good song. And the last song, which is The World's Wide Enough, I think is it called. It's basically a re-up. It's kind of a comedy. It's a long song too. It's a combination of the 10 dual commandments, whatever it's called, and because it ends with the Aaron Burr and Hamilton duel. Is that plus a spoken word part by Hamilton, which is it was just basically like the whole play reiterated again, and then a reiteration of the same kind of beat / song as Wait For It, but the world was wide enough for both of us, or something like that. So, and I just realized this going through the songs again, that there's a lot of the songs have they use the same musical motifs, cues, patterns, whatever you want to call it, chord progressions, but they change a little bit. They change the words and stuff, so it's pretty cool. It's less oh snap, that's dope than originally in the first viewing, but Wait For It is still a dope song. And also, I started writing a Trump version of Wait For It, and I have one good hook. That's like it's a Trump hook, but Bridge is like, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, I want to really do it. Cathartic, trying to get the catharsis out of my system. Although I probably get put on an FBI watch list. Although I don't think the FBI and Trump really get along, so I'd be okay, right? I don't know. Anyway, we ain't talking about that. Hi everybody. Hi Bridge. Bridges and Fosse book. Hi. I think I need to figure out what that Facebook gaming crap is, because I haven't switched over or even looked into it yet. I'm still on Mixer for now. I guess another 10 days and then we're out. So I can do next week. Next week will be the last Mixer show. And I guess I got to figure out how to do the other stuff. Yeah. So Ubisoft had a thing today. It's the Ubisoft Forward. Also another update. I got ants in my studio. Them little sugar ants that are so cute that you just want to kill them. I mean, you don't want to kill them, but I'm gonna kill them because I'm like, yo, I'm sorry, y'all invading in my space. What's this? Yeah, Ubisoft. They had a thing. Oh, that's for the battery thing that I got for my camera, so I don't have to use the battery. I use the plug for the camera, which is cool. I was like, oh, they have those, and I plug it in, and boom. I don't have to plug. I can just leave the camera there, turn it on. It's set to the right. I think it's set to the right. Focal. Is it? I don't want to mess with it. Anyway, Ubisoft had a thing today. Ubisoft Forward. That's what they call it, I think. I looked through it. Only two things that are worth noting, because I don't care about Rainbow Six Siege, so kick rocks, were Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Watch Dogs Legion. Everything else, Hyperscape. They're really pushing that too. And Far Cry 6. Those three things. Four things. Okay. Everything else, there was some other, this is an indie game, whatever else. And I was like, whatever. But those, I think the most, I don't want to say the most impressive, because gameplay wise, kind of look like hot garbage. I'm going to take that back. That's cruel. Gameplay wise, look like Ubisoft open world games. So I was like, okay, I'm not really impressed with the graphics. I don't see, is there ray tracing in that? I don't really see it. And it said, it's big letters, pretty big letters. Not final, just not final. Work in progress. Just ain't, because we know y'all gonna cry about how ugly it is. So this is not the final. I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, that's not the best looking, that's not the best looking right there. You be tripping soft. It's not the best looking. And so, first thing I saw was... Wait, what was the first thing I saw? It was the Assassin's Creed Legion. I'm sorry, Watch Dog Legion. You know what? If it was Assassin's Creed Legion, like if it was Assassin's Creed in the Watch Dog Legion's universe, meaning you probably have all the hacking powers, but you could climb and do all that stuff and kill fools like Assassin's Creed, do that. Because I was watching, like, the Watch Dog Legion, that the cinematic trailer debut, whatever they call it, wasn't gameplay, but it was kind of dope. I was like, you know what, that's a pretty cool little, it was actually like a short film. I think that's what they called it. I was like, that's pretty good. And then I saw the gameplay. I was like, oh yeah, no. I'm like, no. Because I like the nighttime with the neon. It's all futuristic, the drones and stuff. And I was like, oh, all right, yeah. And I saw the gameplay. I was like, oh. I was like, thank you for bringing me back to Earth, Ubisoft. Thank you for reminding me that we ain't cool. This is cross-gen territory. We have entered into the cross-gen, what is it? I was going to say, like, you know, how places have a demilitarized zone where it's, you know, in between two countries. This is where we're at right now. We're in between two console generations. The last and the one that's coming up. And that's what Watch Dog Regions and all this Ubisoft stuff pretty much represents. And I was watching, I was like, ugh. And dude's nose, the cabbie driver, I guess that's who you're playing. I don't know. No, I guess in Legion you can play whoever you want, whatever. But his nose was all weird. I was like, is that? I know this is the future, so why does his nose look like it's like a? It doesn't look like his nose. It looks like there's something on top of it. Like his nostrils don't. It's weird. I was like, I don't get it. I don't want to play the. I was gonna play the videos, but I just watched them right now, and I said, I don't care. And the funny thing is, Watch Dogs Legion, because it was just, okay. So the Watch Dogs Legion cinematic reveal trailer, whatever they call it, that was pretty cool. Whatever, it's cool as a short film. Gameplay, boo. Then I saw Far Cry with Giancarlo Espinosa, and I was like, okay, that's a good short story right there. You know, that was all. It was pre-rendered, CG stuff, but I was like, that's pretty. That when games look like that, when the game looks like that short, CG type of thing, I was like, now we're talking. When the game looks like that, then we talking. That was pretty good with the grenade and this kid and stuff. I was like, okay, that was pretty good right there. But I don't want to play Far Cry 6 either. But that was more impressive. It was kind of cool. It's almost like not Ubisoft in particular, even though this is Ubisoft stuff, but it's almost like game makers, these people who are making games, don't know how to be creative. Or, I mean, maybe that's just a symptom of creating content in an established franchise where you can't really change too much. So I'm looking at, we got Far Cry 6. I'm like, not really interested. Although like I said, the short was dope, but I don't want to play. And they didn't show any gameplay, so I was like, yeah, but so whatever. Then it was Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I was like, because the cinematic gameplay that they said they showed at the Microsoft, the Xbox, Inside Xbox thing, no. They show gameplay now. I was like, oh yeah, now that's what Assassin's Creed like. I'm good. You know what? As much flack as Xbox got for not showing quote unquote gameplay last time in May or wherever on their Inside Xbox, if they would have showed actual gameplay that they showed today, they would have got slam bambered. They would have got elbowed and drop kicked and leg dropped and people, well, that was the people's elbow, but you know what I'm saying, it would have been worse. So they did the right move when they did what they did, although it was the communication. They shouldn't have said gameplay, we're going to see some gameplay on Assassin's Creed finally. They shouldn't have said that. They should have said debut trailer for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's it. Just say it like that. Be sneaky like Cerny and say facts, but have people imply that it's going to be gameplay. But you say, hey, we didn't say nothing about gameplay. It's just a trailer. You know what I'm saying? Sneaky like Cerny. You got to think like Cerny. Cerny is a brilliant man. He's also brilliant at his deceitfulness, his sneakiness. He should be a ninja of intellect and words because he knows how to use them effectively. Even though they have a weaker console, for some reason people think it's better. Sneaky Cerny. They get a weaker console, everybody's like, oh my god, the SSD's gonna make it more powerful. Sneaky Cerny. I tell you what, boy. I tell you what. Sneaky Cerny, boy. So, there's one game I want from Ubisoft. Beyond Good and Evil 2. I know it's going to be like Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs, Far Cry, all these open world games. I know it's going to be like that, kind of, sort of. But I want to be in that world. First things first. I want to play in this world, right? Second, I want to be a monkey man or a pig man or monkey lady. Actually, I'd probably just be a lady or whatever. I don't know. Opti is in chat. What's up, Opti? Hope everything's going good for you. That UB4 was weak. Yes, I agree. Nobody wants Beyond Good and Evil 2. I do. That's one person. The world doesn't look all that cool. And Beyond Good and Evil 2, it looks better than freaking Watch Dogs. Well, you know what? I'm going to say it looks better than Watch Dogs. Because you got flying cars and stuff. It's like the Fifth Element plus India or something. Well, that was just that one city they showed. Oops, my bad. Sorry. So, I like it. People are just asking for it, but No one will buy it. Valhalla looks cool. Valhalla reminded me, like, when she went into, like, that dream, like, she got the blood splattered mist and she went into the dream sequence. It kind of looked like Hellblade a little bit. I'm just saying, kind of like Hellblade. I was like, ooh, I get the Hellblade vibes. Except Hellblade looks way better. Hellblade, this gen, which is last gen compared to that, looks better. Hellblade looks better than Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's a shame. Valhalla should look way better. Next gen, son, that should look way better. So, and if that Hellblade 2 trailer that they showed is any indication, which I believe it is, because think about this, OptiPace. Remember when Sony and they showed the Unreal Engine 5 demo on running on PlayStation 5, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, look at those graphics, goosh," right? Remember that? 1440p, 30 frames a second. Still, look at those. They look pretty good, right? I remember Joe Rogan was playing. He's like, "Oh my gosh, look at that! Oh my God, it looks so real." Joe's been a little, but anyway, I looked at the Unreal 5 demo, right? I saw it. I was like, "Oh, that looks, yeah, all right." Even though it's 1440p, 30 frames, I'm like, "Okay, that's fine, whatever." Still, it looks pretty good, right? It looks pretty good. And then I said, "Oh, wait a second, Hellblade 2 is gonna be on the same." And then I went back and looked at Hellblade 2. I was like, "Oh snap!" And then I realized it clicked in my brain. In that Hellblade 2 is running on Unreal 5, just like the demo. And they look like, if you think about Unreal, the history of Unreal, and how their games kind of look like, oh, that's an Unreal game. You can kind of tell. It's like, oh, yeah, you kind of tell. I said, oh, because if you just look, if you compare Hellblade, the first Hellblade, like how good it looked on everything, basically, except for the Switch. A little muddy on the Switch, but I'm just saying. It looks good for a last gen, this gen game. It looks real good. So then I'm like, oh, okay, so next gen's going to have ray tracing, it's going to have all this better stuff. Then I looked at the Unreal 5 demo on a PlayStation 5, weaker console. And I'm like, then I look back at the Hellblade trailer that they showed, and I'm like, that might be really close to what I'm going to play, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, shit. So it gave me a little bit of fire. I was like, okay, all right, give me a little fire in my soul. I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, what Sony did, and let me talk about the Unreal, the Sony, investment in Unreal and Epic. People make it a big deal about it. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna tell you why. Back in the day, it was Epic Games, Tim Sweeney. He's the guy, right? He's like, I got all that. It's all mine, right? Then Tencent put in $330 million. They gained 30%, no. They gained 40%, I believe, of Unreal, of Epic, when they put in that $330 million. 40%. And Tim Sweeney owns greater than 50%. And so I guess there's other guys who have a little bit of stuff, people. Sony put in 250 million just recently. They own 1 point something percent. Do you understand what I just said? Tencent put in 330 million, got 40%. Sony put in 250 million, got 1% and change. I don't even understand why. Is it just for kind of optics? Like, Sony owns Epic now. Look at, they're gonna. I'm like, no, it's a minority share. They got no say in nothing. They can't say, they could say stuff. Like, they could be like in the back of the class, like, and then the teacher could just ignore you because you only got 1%. Meanwhile, Tencent is like the teacher's pet, shining an apple. Like, yo, what's up? What you need? You know what I mean? And Sweeney's like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Sweeney's the boss. Let's keep it clear. Sweeney's the boss. He's got the most shares. He's got the controlling monies. You know what I'm saying? He's got the controls. Tencent is the lieutenant, second in command, number one, if you will. Sony is the janitor outside cleaning up the throw up from some kid who got sick in the hallway. Okay, I know I'm crossing all kind of analogies, but I'm just saying, People make a big deal about Sony. Oh, they put $250 million for Epic. I'm like, okay, so maybe they'll get a little bit of money back when Fortnite makes some money or something. Okay, but you got 1%? So what? You get extra skins? You'll get a Kratos skin in Fortnite or something? It's so dumb. People are making a big deal. It's like, okay, first of all, it's not a big deal. Second of all, Fortnite's not going to be the game forever. If you look at the history of games, let's just start from like World of Warcraft, just to be, easy. World of Warcraft was WoW was the game. Everybody's like, WoW, WoW, WoW. For years and years and years, some people still play WoW. But guess what? It fell off. It's not the game no more. It's not the top game. You got like 4 or 5 games that are doing that right now. Minecraft, Fortnite, League of Legends, Dota 2. What else? What else is the game? What else is the game? Yeah, I don't even know. And I did read something about how it would make it easier for them to do cross-play or something. And I'm like, really? You had to give them $250 million to secure that? Or you couldn't have just been like, yo, is Sony's cross-play game so weak that they gotta like pay people off to be like, yo, cross-play, please? Come on, son. Crossplay is just something you should do. And Epic had it going. Epic was like, yo, we accidentally turned it on. Sorry, Sony. Back in it, remember that? And Sony's all mad, like, man, turn it off. You see? That's why I'm like, yo, I be looking at Sony all like crooked-eyed, because they be like, they say one thing, then they be like, shit, flip-flop. And people are like, oh, it's okay if people change their mind. They learn and realize that they're wrong. And I'm like, no, that's not what happened. What happened was Sony was like, nah, son, we want to keep all the balls for us. We brought the ball. I'm taking my ball. I'm going home, basically. We want all the monies. We don't want to share none of our success. We don't want the industry to grow like that unless we grow in it. And I'm like, okay. It's not enough to be number one. They just want to make sure that they're number one any means possible, any means necessary. And I'm like, okay, that's one way to go. Or you could be like, yo, we all in this together, which is kind of the vibe in the world today, right? We all in this together. Let's make video games nice. Let's make sure that video games don't get stupid and don't do another crash, which I doubt it'll happen again, because that's how it happened the first time. Probably won't happen. As far as the industry-wide, won't happen. Like, as far as Sony crashing, maybe, because they're not as big as like the big guns like Microsoft, Google, and Amazon. Now I say that as far as some of that stuff is kind of parallel industry stuff. So Microsoft is like Microsoft Cloud, Amazon Cloud, Amazon Twitch Cloud, and Google Stadia Cloud. You know what I'm saying? So Google's into the gaming barely with Stadia, but and people are making fun of Stadia. Whatever. But still, they're there. They are there. And if they continue to be there, one day it might pop up. Remember when Steam launched? It was hot garbage. And they turned it around. Now, not everyone can turn their stuff around. I can't. Not everyone can turn it around. Sony has not turned around PS Now. I mean, maybe it's a slow turning ship. Maybe it's a big ass battleship, and they're like, maybe it's a aircraft carrier, and they're turning, and the whole thing is like, and all the ships are falling off the side because they didn't secure them. They're like, let's put all the ships on the deck and not secure them. They're gonna float. They float, right? They're fuselages. There's air in there, right? So yeah, I don't trust the authenticity of Sony's approach to what's going, like video games in particular. And I don't think they have I don't think they're taking into consideration the nature of the world. And the nature of the world that will continue to be kind of messed up for about a year or so. I'm going to say a year. I'm going to say we're not out of the woods until a year from now. And at first when it started, the pandemic, when it started in February, March, whenever, right? When the lockdown started, I was like, September. I'm like, yeah, probably, after summer, when September starts, maybe it'd be all right, right? And I look at the world, and I'm like, for the rest of the world, yeah, maybe. But guess what? USA, guess what? United we stand. Our leader's fucking up. Excuse my French, but I'm just saying. So now, I'm like, yo, we gotta wait for some vaccines. So, unless you got magic mushrooms in your backyard or something, we gotta wait for a vaccine. And so I say, next summer, at the least, next September probably. So this year, 2020 is just erase it from your memory. It's like you don't want to remember that. Remember that nothing happened? Remember when you were in the house for 6 months? Remember when it was on lockdown and then it was not on lockdown and then it was on lockdown again? And if this goes as I think it's gonna go, there's gonna be another lockdown, and it's either gonna be another lockdown, and then it's gonna be another open, and then it's gonna be another lockdown, and or which I think is gonna happen. Basically, I think Trump is just like, yo, herd immunity. That's it. I think that's what they're just like. Yeah, we can't. We have to open up the country, and so boom. And even in that, I'm like, yeah, sure, okay, open up stuff, but you need a plan. That's the whole thing. It's like, yo, I'm sorry to be talking about this. You need a plan, man. You just don't be like, open it up. Let's go. Every man for himself. No. You get the testing on point. You get the, come on, son. I was talking to my dad about it. I was like, he's like, ugh. I start talking to him, I get frustrated. I'm like, it makes me mad. I don't want to talk about it right now. So I'm not going to talk about this right now. I'm going to talk about how evil Sony is now. I'm just playing. I just don't think they're, well, first and foremost, business. They need to make money, right? But you can make money and still be a good company. You can make money and still have the interests of your customers kind of first. Not like, oh, we're going to, see, here's the main thing that makes me look crooked-eyed at Sony and makes me kind of mad, right? It makes me happy and glad, happy and gay that I am not a Sony fanboy. Because if I was a Sony fanboy right now, I'd probably be in denial, or if I'm not in denial, I'd be mad as hell. But I'm not mad as hell because I'm not a Sony fanboy, so I don't give a fuck. I don't care. So here's why. Sony is forcing you to buy a PlayStation 5. You know what I'm saying? Let me explain. Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Perfect example. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, which is not even a sequel. All right? It's a standalone expansion. It's like DLC that they padded out a little bit and they said, nah, exclusive to PlayStation 5. When they know damn well that they could run it on a PlayStation 4 because it's built off the PlayStation 4 game, son. And I'm like, hold up. Y'all charging. I don't know what they're charging yet. If they charge full price, we got problems. If they charge $50, we got problems. Because that's another thing. I'll get back to Spider-Man, but 2K is talking about $70 for the next gen games, right? And I'm like, okay. All right, they've been trying to make it so that prices are higher, and this is a perfect excuse for them to do it, right? One thing I can't stand are these journalists out there, or journalists, or influencers, or whoever the hell, talking about, oh well, we've been paying $60 for forever, and so I think it's just only fair because the production cost of games is more money right now. And like, hold up. Only reason why production costs are more is because they're spending more on games, not because all of a sudden a camera costs or this or that costs more. No. Does programming cost more? Are you paying your people more? I don't think so. I mean, cost of living does rise, so a little bit, right? But they specifically, and this was what Sony was saying, so I don't know if Sony's, but I'm just saying, Sony, for example, and Unreal, for example, were saying that their technologies in Unreal Engine 5 will make making games easier. So if games are easier to make, how is it harder to make them, and why are the prices going up? Because you're saying, oh, it's harder to make, production is more. Well, hold up. They just said it's easier to make. So what you talking about, Willis? How you gonna say it's easier to make a game but not a production? How is the production more money when it's easier to? It's easier means less hard, means less time, means less money, right? So wouldn't the ease of this new system of the Unreal Engine 5 make it so that you wouldn't have to spend as much money doing low LODs, level of detail models for all your different assets? You could just be like, boom, right out of ZBrush, baby. Boom, so easy. I just did the damn boom. Boom. Man, I saved myself 15 hours making a different model. That's 15 hours of money right there. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying, oh, hold up. Y'all talking out of two sides of your mouth. You're saying, oh, it's easier here, but oh, it's more expensive, so the prices got to go up. Nah, son, I ain't falling for it. It's a bunch of bullshit. I ain't falling for it. That's what I'm saying. But saying that, yes, it's just 2K right now, but I believe everybody's going to want to get into it, except I'm going to say Microsoft first party might not fall for it, because that's what they did. I believe it was at the beginning of the 360 or Xbox One. I can't remember which one it was, but they maintained $49.99. I think it was 360. All the first party games were $49.99, and everybody else went to $59.99. I was like, okay. And they did that only for first party, and for the first couple of years. But yeah, no. And so that's where I go back to Spider-Man, and that's where I go back to Sony, and I'm like, yo, y'all are being real bastards right now, because if I got a PlayStation 4 and I'm like, yo, Sony's dope, I got a PlayStation 4, he sounds like a Concord, but I don't care, it's still good games, right? The exclusives is hot. And then they go slap you in the face with Spider-Man Miles Morales, because how come I can't play it on my PlayStation 4? Oh, because me want you to buy a PlayStation 5. You trying to force me to pay $500 plus whatever the game costs, because y'all want to be. That's how y'all gonna be successful, for forcing your fans to have to buy another system, instead of being like, yo, offer your game on your system that has over 110 million units out there. You know how many units you're gonna sell if you have that on the PlayStation 4? A whole lot of units. But now y'all just cut yourselves off, because y'all expect people to buy a PlayStation 5 just to play Spider-Man. Now, some people will buy a PlayStation 5 just to play Spider-Man, and that's fine. But less people will buy or play Spider-Man, because you're not offering in your giant, large. It doesn't make any business-wise, right? You'd be like, do you want to sell games, or is it more important to sell consoles? And that's the question they got to ask themselves, right? Fortnite doesn't have a exclusive, specific, bespoke console that it uses to play Fortnite. It's on everything. Fortnite is like the biggest game. Minecraft, same difference. All these games, Madden, FIFA, not exclusive. They don't rely on unit sales of a hardware console to be successful. To brag about 4 million units sold in 2 seconds or whatever it was. They're capping themselves of maximum sales on those games, because they're doing this business model of, oh, we're making it exclusive so you should show the power. No. That's not how that works. And that's like a double slap in the face lie, because it's based on an old PS4 game. So it's not like they built the engine from the ground up. No, they're adding features that are available on the PlayStation 5 to Spider-Man. So you think about it, right? You could make a PlayStation 4 version that doesn't have the features that the PlayStation 5 uses. Why are you making me buy a PlayStation 5? And that's my main problem. And it makes me angry. Even though I'm not a PlayStation fan like that. I appreciate the games that their studios make. But the whoever is in charge of that type of business model, where it's like we're gonna make it, and you notice how they're trying to kind of create the narrative of Xbox ain't gonna have no exclusives for 2 years, right? It's like, wait, that's not a bad thing, because that way I could play Halo Infinite when it comes out. I don't have to run out and get a freaking Xbox Series X if I don't want to or can't. I can still experience the game. Meaning, more people will play the game. I will guarantee you this. Opti, Bridget, whoever else is in Facebook, I'm going to guarantee you this. Halo Infinite will sell more units or have more people playing than Spider-Man Miles Morales first week, first month, whatever you want to call it. I'd say first month. I'm going to say first week, though. Let's just say first month, whatever. First whatever. Halo Infinite will have more players. Why? Because they're going to have more play, period. It's just numbers. It's just, you have how many PCs? Hundreds of millions of PCs that can play Halo Infinite, right? You have at least 10 million Game Pass subscribers, right? So that's 10 million that can possibly play on day one with no barriers to entry. Just like, is there? The barrier to entry is download. Click, download. Opti says it might be another Halo 5. I've been watching some videos on Halo 5, Halo 4, some of the Halo 3, Halo ODST and stuff. And then I watched another video on Halo Infinite and some speculation. And I was looking at it, and I think the video, the trailer that they showed where Master Chief is floating in space and the dude with the beards and the inside the Pelican and stuff, I think that's actually in-game rendered. Because I was looking at certain, like, if you look at, there are artifacts. There's rendering, there's physics artifacts, there's shadow artifacts as well. It's like, oh wait, that looks like gameplay right there, for real. It's like an in-game cinematic. I think that's what they're doing, and I think they're being quiet about it because they want to surprise, like, it's gonna be real. What's up, Hecht? Well, why are you gonna talk? Why are you gonna talk shite, Hecht? Opti says they seriously need to give Halo Infinite a God of War 2018 treatment. Hecht says Halo ain't shit. 10 million Game Pass doesn't include PC Game Pass. Probably. Yeah, I believe all the Game. It's like Game Pass Ultimate, Xbox Game Pass all together. It's all one. It's all Game Pass. No, I don't think they distinguish, because Game Pass Ultimate. Well, Game Pass Ultimate is both, and then they have PC Game Pass, and then they have Xbox Game Pass. But I think they put them all together. I would put them all together because it's basically the same service. It's just the selection is a little different. It's like having Netflix in the US versus Netflix in Europe. You're gonna have it's the same service, but you have a different selection, as far as the region goes. So think of it like that, even though it's not a different region, but it's a different platform. If that makes sense. I think that's what they actually said too. I think they said that there's another rumor that Halo Infinite is gonna have the one single camera type of thing that God of War did. So I was like, okay, that might work. Yeah, I don't know. That might be interesting to see. I don't have any problem with that per se, because that's kind of just a creative decision. It's not really gonna affect gameplay that much, so that's fine. Hecht says, too bad PC Game Pass doesn't have the same library. It's similar libraries. Honestly, PC Game Pass has some better game. Like, PC Game Pass had Undertale and Gears Tactics, which aren't on Xbox. So there's benefits to having Ultimate. So I played Gears Tactics, and I deleted it because I was like, I need room on my hard drive. And I haven't played Undertale yet because I just don't feel like playing Undertale on my PC. So I was like, whatever. But the one thing I saw about Halo was like a behind the scenes thing. Well, they showed a thing of how they made the trailer and stuff. Not the latest trailer, but the first one that they showed, where they showed like the rhinos and all that stuff, and Master Chief at the end with the helmet. They showed one shot where it was first person, which means just like gameplay basically. and they showed it was like a super low poly, no textures, no materials, nothing, no light, barely lighting, and they showed it, and they were standing on the Halo ring, and they showed like an installation there and one in the background and stuff, and they showed the ring and it went up, and the thing was is that usually in the Halo games of old, you have your landmass, whatever the arena of gameplay is, and then you have the skybox, which includes the Halo ring. The Halo ring is part of the skybox. It's not part of the geometry of the world that you're in, your character. But in this specific behind the scenes thing, the Halo was rendered as geometry, meaning it was part of the landmass, meaning it was part of your gameplay game field. So, ergo therefore, it's a great possibility that Halo might be open world, meaning the whole ring or a lot of the ring would be accessible, like a whole giant sandbox, if you will. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, and then I saw the behind the scenes, I was like, oh, okay, yep, that makes sense. And if that's the case, it makes it interesting because that's a hard thing. Usually open world games are like kind of this, they're kind of a certain type of game, right? They're like, you run around. It's kind of like, think about like Mass Effect Andromeda, where you run around and there's a pocket of enemies here and a pocket and a pocket here. So in that respect, you're like, eh. But Halo, you can have kind of different instances or like dungeons. Kaijudo, what's up? Kaijudo says they need to start making Halo games and make a JLo game. And so I can see a world where Halo, imagine the ring is open, like, remember, right, in the trailer, the last trailer, the ring was broken at one point. So that means that it's actually possible with the SSDs and all the speed of the technology of the new Series X. Even though this game is going to be on the older stuff, there's ways around that. But they can have that whole ring basically open world. A lot of it there might not be some stuff. I mean, there's going to be wildlife. They showed the wildlife already, so that's cool. But there'll be, installations, obviously Halo installations, there'll be bases and all kinds of stuff that you can actually go in, go deep, like the library. I hate to bring that up, but, different types, different sections of the ring that you can go inside, and it could be like kind of a dungeon, if you will. And that way it can be a linear experience within the open world, So I was thinking about, like, how do you make, it's like, oh, okay, it's possible, sure. And then they get, do a waypoint, like, oh, Chief, come here and blah, 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 and you got to go to this point in the map and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. It doesn't mean it's going to be an RPG like Fallout or anything. It's just, it's Halo, but it's open world. I'm like, all right, that makes it, I mean, they could throw in a little bit of RPG stuff. I wouldn't mind. But as far as, like, the actual abilities, I'm not deep into Halo like that. So if some people are like, oh, we gotta take out the slide because it causes this and that, but we need to have the sprint because if it's an open world, so we need to sprint so we can go faster. And it's like, okay. So I think I'm not too sure about all those the intricacies. There it is, of the different abilities, but I think the first step that makes me kind of like, that might be kind of cool, is the open world aspect. Open world. Second part is that they're kind of going back to the original retro Halo Combat Evolved designs as far as the Chief and possibly some of the enemies and stuff. So I'm like, okay, that might be okay with the new graphics and the ray tracing. That might be dope as hell. So I'm like, I'll be down for that. Hecht, why are there feet in chat? Where's the feet at? Huh? What are you talking about? I don't see feet. I don't see feet. When your neck itches? Feet is in the viewer list. Oh, I don't know. Wait, which chat? The Twitch chat? I don't know. I don't even look at those. You figure it out. I don't. Anyway, checked. You like to distract me. So Halo, like I said before, Halo's gonna sell more units, or Halo's gonna have more players, which is it pays his feet. Halo's gonna have more players than Spider-Man Miles Morales. I say Spider-Man Miles Morales because that will probably be the most successful PS5 launch game. I think it's supposed to be a PS5 launch game. I think that'll be the most successful PS5 launch game. And I don't even know what the new numbers on The Last of Us 2. They haven't said anything past that first week, right? The first weekend or whatever. And that's funny because if the numbers were going up so high or whatever, and if they were like, oh man, it's so successful. If they would have hit 5 million or 6 million, don't you think they would have said something already? They didn't say nothing. What's the numbers on The Last of Us Part 2 sales numbers? That's what I'm thinking. Hopti says 343 Industries haven't really made any great games. They're all okay, man, in my opinion. Heck says the story is Spider-Man Miles Morales is gonna have less players than Spider-Man had because some people aren't gonna be able to get past the black kid Spider-Man. I didn't even put that into consideration. But there are racist Spider-Man fans, and I would agree with that. I don't know what the percentage is. I don't think it's gonna be huge, but I think that it might be. Kaiju says people don't care about Spider-Man. It's niche game. Niche. It's a niche game. Spider-Man is when you think about Call of Duty, you think about the big games that are big. Yes, it is a niche game, but it's I would say it's like the second or third in, like, you got the big COD, for example, then you have, I don't know what, God of War maybe, and then you have like a Spider-Man. You know what I mean? 13 million copies sold is a niche game. It's niche because only 13 million sold. That's how many Spider-Man sold? That's okay, that's more than 10%. But come on, that's what I keep saying. Over 110 million units sold on a PlayStation 4. And y'all keep pulling out these numbers, and I'm like, y'all should be higher than 10%. And I'd be like, you have to sell 10. If you have over 100, I'm gonna say they probably have 113 million PlayStation 4 sold. 10% is 10%. 10% sounds niche. Although, like I said, I would start at 10% as that's where it should at least sell. I would say 20. Well, how many units has Grand Theft Auto 5 sold? More than 13? All right? So that's what I'm saying. So if you want to look at games that actually sell, look at that. If you want to look at Minecraft numbers, come on, son. More than 13 million. Heck says, by the way, I might be getting a PS4 this month. You said you're getting that used one or something? Heck says GTA sold more, I guess, since it's going to span 3 generations. Yes, that's true, but also because of PC and online. But yeah, so it doesn't matter. Still, and that's irrelevant because the fact that it's still selling now means something. You know what I mean? It's not a one and done like Spider-Man. Once you're done with Spider-Man, unless you just want to play it again and again and again and again and again, there's nothing more to play. There's no multiplayer. What do you do? What are we doing here? Why would you play Spider-Man why would you play Spider-Man 3 generations past PlayStation 4? You wouldn't, because of the type of game it is. Nowadays, multiplayer. Microsoft said this years ago. That's why they started multiplayer. And then they said games as a service. Guess what? Games as a service is killing everything. Killing in both good and bad. I'm sorry, y'all are going fast. Kaiju says no one cares about who is Spider-Man. He's from a different world. Well, we're just talking about the racist people who are just like, yeah, Spider-Man's I ain't playing that. I want to play with some. You know what I mean? Opti says, I guess every game that is not a GTA is a niche game then. No. I mean, GTA is definitely an anomaly. Well, Minecraft. I mean, there's a handful of games that are like GTA, if you will. Kaijito says, plus Spider-Verse was a huge. People don't care about the Black Spider-Man. A Black Spider-Man. No, people do care about Black anything. They do. Come on, Kaiju. You're being too nice right now. Stop. Listen, Kaijudo. Do not ignore the racisms. You know it exists. You know it's in the world. There are some people out there who are like that. Come on, son. I mean, think about how dumb racism is, first of all. And then just think about the dumbest person who may be racist, white supremacist. I'm not watching nothing with these type of people. You know what I'm saying? Some people are so like bigotish, that they be like, "Oh, you're gay, ill." Remember when the lady she voted for Buttigieg, and then the dude who's interviewing her is like, "Yeah, you know he's gay, right?" And it's like, "What? Can I take my vote back?" I'm like, what? So come on, there are people like that, and it's a shame, but yeah, that's the world we live in. Oh, all right. Opti says Miles Morales will not sell as well as Spider-Man PS4, but it will sell good. I mean, think about it. Launch, right? You figure that PlayStation could possibly sell, depending on the price, could possibly sell 1 million a week, right? So let's pretend it comes out 2 weeks in. They get 2 million units sold. They're in about 152 million units sold by the end of November. That's it. That's all they can sell unit-wise of Spider-Man Miles Morales because they don't have the units of PlayStation 5 to support it. So that's what I'm saying. At most, they can sell as many as people are willing to buy PlayStation 5s, and that's not smart. It's not smart long-term. If you have a game that people want to play, they will play it. If Spider-Man Miles Morales was on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 enhanced version, whatever, don't take away from PlayStation 5, but have it both, it would sell so many, I would have to change my tune. And I would say, you know what? I think Spider-Man Miles Morales being on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 at launch will sell more than Halo. I would say that because, yes, it's definitely a possibility. I mean, like I said, Halo is a different game. I think more people will play it long term because it is multiplayer, and people jump to the multiplayer and they go to Forge. I saw a video today of all kind of Forge is so crazy that they were making battle royale games in Forge, and I was like, what? It was hard because it's not meant for that. When I saw that, they had Warthog, Demolition Derby, or what was it? Warthog? I forgot what it was. They had so many different variants in Forge, different game types. I was like, oh, this is so cool. So I was like, when I get Halo Infinite, I'm definitely going into Forge. I'm definitely going to play some of that stuff because this is just so crazy. So crazy. I mean, I remember Griffball and all that stuff, but it's crazy. Sorry, let me go back a little bit. Hex says, Spider-Man has the same problem as the Arkham games. There's only so much you can do. Kaijiro says, you fight crime after the game. It keeps going, but the city is a shitty NYC. Oh, it's an awful NYC map. Spider-Man 2 from Xbox had a better NYC. Damn, how did they mess that up, though? What? Is it smaller, or did they just... I know they like consolidate and they kind of condense stuff, but why... I find it hard to believe that even in just this generation that they could not create NYC. I would just say Manhattan, the whole island of Manhattan, as an open world. I find it hard to believe. It just doesn't. I mean, I'm not saying you can go into every building because that's crazy. I'm not even saying replicate every building stone for stone. I'm just saying do a Google Maps, do all the roads up to the Bronx, or past the Bronx, up to Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, Yonkers, that's the northern part, and then Queens, Brooklyn on the east side, and Long Island. Just have Manhattan. Is it really that big? Is it really that hard for a PS4 to do that? That's my question. I mean, the game will be super huge, but it's really about streaming technology, right? So I don't know. I would rather have an accurate NYC than like what they pulled. And I don't even live in NYC. I've never lived in NYC. My brother did. But I never lived in NYC. I was in Mount Vernon. I went to Queens a couple times. Went to Staten Island once. Well, more than a couple times. Some of my cousins live in Queens, but in the Bronx as well. But I'm sorry, I'm missing it. I'm sorry. Wait, let me go back. Pace Opti says, heck, once you get the PS4, you should get Spider-Man. Heck says he will. Heck says, where's my Spider-Man game? I want to control a big ass spider mech. True. Spider-Man. Opti says Miles Morales will come to PS4 at a later date. That is definitely possible, but it's messed up that they're doing what they're doing, you know. And it's gonna diminish. I would say it would diminish PS4 sales of that, but probably won't. Kaijudo says, of course there are races. I just don't think any of them care. They would have to be screaming about it already. They would have been screaming about it already. I don't go into any like comment threads or anything, so there probably are some. I mean, anything you're saying like in here basically about there are crazy people out there that they would. It's just like, why's he gotta be black? I don't know why he was like a Southern guy, right? That's a stereotype. What are you gonna do? There are not too many. I'm not even gonna finish that sentence. Kaiju says, yeah, traffic is awful. Every street is narrow. You don't feel like you're in NYC like you did in GTA 4 and Spider-Man 2. That's true. GTA 4, I remember like the Times Square area, even though it was empty, there was nobody there. It felt to scale. Even though it wasn't like 100% accurate, it still felt to scale. The cars move unrealistically. I will stream it for you later. I will download it and stream it. It's trash. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Just send me a link to you. I think I'm following you, right? I think I am. Let me see. Yeah, I'm friends. Yeah, definitely. I'll check it out. But that's one kind of major thing that I'm having a problem with how Sony is approaching the PlayStation 5 launch. And it's their I was going to say business model, but it's their strategy, their business strategy to get people to, quote, move to the PlayStation 5 as fast as possible this gen, from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. And that's, it feels wrong, because it's almost like if you have someone who is Stockholm Syndrome, and so it's like all their fans are Stockholm Syndrome people, victims, and Sony is the abuser, right? And they're saying, yeah, you got to buy this in order to get the good stuff, and they're like, okay, I'll buy it. It's better, it's good, because you know what's best for me. So instead of being like, we're gonna give it. We appreciate you buying a PlayStation 4, being a part of the Sony fam. Here it is. It's not like they're giving it out for free. You still gotta pay for it. And honestly, I think it's gonna hurt them in the long. It's gonna hurt them in the long run, because if people want to buy the PlayStation 5, they're gonna buy it. You know, they're not gonna buy it because, oh, it's on a PlayStation 4 as well, so I'm not gonna. No. If they want a PlayStation 5, they're going to buy it. If they're going to buy a PlayStation 5 eventually, they're going to buy it. Say if it's launching and they don't have the money, they're like, well, I got to wait anyway. So they're losing off on the potential person that's going to buy a PlayStation 5 anyway, but they can't afford it right away. So they have to wait, right? So they're losing that unit of Miles Morales that would have been sold to the PlayStation 4 owner who wants to play it regardless. They're losing that. And that to me is like, I'm like, if I was a business, I'm like, hold up, we want to maximize sales, right? That's business. We want to make money. We're making a game. Insomniac, I bet. I mean, they don't have to worry about it because Sony's paying the bills. But I mean, if you want to think about it as like indie, like say if Insomniac was an indie studio, I know they're not, but say if they were indie studio, and for some reason they have a deal with Sony to make Spider-Man Miles Morales, and they can only release it on a PlayStation 5. And it's affecting, I mean, Sony's making the money, but also Insomniac. But they're not making as much money because they're not allowing them to release it on a PlayStation 4. Over 110 million units potential sales. They're like leaving money on the table. It doesn't make business sense. It doesn't make sense. And mainly it's because the mentality of Sony is we want to sell consoles. We want to sell consoles. They're interested in selling you a box and not a game. And you got to think about that. You're like, okay, it's kind of ass backwards. They're so about their exclusives are the best exclusives. They're about the games are the best games, right? But they're using that fact that the fans are like, yo, the exclusives are the best, and they're using that against their fans, meaning they're not allowing their fans to enjoy that content because they're locking it away on something you have to pay extra for. You have to put in $500 at least more dollars to play the new stuff. And I'm like, it's not consumer friendly, period. It's like, sugarcoat it, like I said, 29 different ways. It's not consumer friendly. And Microsoft on the Xbox side is getting slammed for being consumer friendly. Some people are like, yes, Game Pass is dope, best deal in gaming. I've heard that a lot. It still is. The fact that they're allowing this game, Halo Infinite, for instance, to be on all the Xbox One and Series X is a problem for people. They're like, oh, Halo Infinite is going to be held back because it's on the Xbox One, old Xbox One. And I'm like, that's not how gaming works. You don't put, the original The Last of Us 2 from the PS3 directly on the PlayStation 4 without making it better. You know what I'm saying? About using the advantages of the system. And that's what's happening. Actually, what I heard is that 343 is actually making two variants of Halo Infinite, an Xbox One version and a Series X version, if you will. Xbox Series version. So that it can take advantage of, the hard drive and the streaming capabilities and such. That's what I heard. That was a rumor that I heard, which makes sense because the Xbox One can't do everything that the Series X can. So, and it also depends on how they create the open world. Like if they create the open world similar to how open worlds are created today for the Xbox One, let's say, and they do the same thing for the Xbox Series X, that means that the world will stream in faster, so it'll be a smoother experience. And it doesn't mean that the I guess the streaming, but you know how they sneaky Cerny on the Unreal Engine 5 well, he did it on the future road to PS5 or whatever it's called. And he said, oh, you no longer need to have a narrow corridor to, open up a little loading section. And I'm like, okay, that's true, but that doesn't mean that those places don't exist. There are valleys that exist on planets, especially Earth, but, there'll probably be formations like that on a Halo ring. So you might have a valley or a chasm that you may have to traverse. That doesn't mean that they're loading. I mean, they will be loading on Xbox One, but as far as Xbox Series X, they could have that same cavern but not be loading. It could be a different type of situation, a cave, a tunnel, whatever. And so it's just a different environment and stuff for purposes of loading, but also changing. You don't want to be in a wide open world all the time because it gets boring. You have to have variation in environments to keep interest, So that's why they're there initially, and then they figured, oh, we can have loading elements right here, so let's do that too. Bridget says, yeah, that's not how it works. Is that what I just said? Is that? Are you quoting me? You need to put quotations, so whatever. Because it looks like you're saying, to me, yeah, that's not how it works. So I don't know what you're saying. And back to Halo. So, Halo open world, good. Okay, so here let's get back into like the intricacies of Halo. So, I mean, one thing is, will Master Chief show his face? Probably not. Maybe, who knows? Who else is going to be in it? Now, I've seen kind of some not leaked footage, but theories that Locke gets killed by not Atriox, but I guess his second in command. I don't know what his name is. He's a brute, and because he had Locke's helmet on his armor, he had it as like a shoulder piece. I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool, like a little detail. It was on the toy, and I was like, oh, okay, that'd be dope. Like if the first part of Halo Infinite is Locke getting killed by Atriox. Yes, please. Because, look, 343, Phil Spencer, Microsoft, no, Xbox, the people at Xbox, they know everyone hated Locke. I didn't hate him in particular, but I think how they used him in the story was kind of not the best. You know, it's the same with The Last Jedi. Same with The Last of Us, Part 2, you know. And the funny thing is that if you look at those three, Halo 5, Last Jedi, and The Last of Us, even Rise of Skywalker, but Last Jedi in particular, the least offensive of those three games or pieces of content media was Halo 5. Because Last Jedi was like, oh, hell no. No, that's not my Luke Skywalker. Last of Us 2 was like, oh, hell no. That's not my Joel. You know what I'm saying? So, if you look at those three things, Halo 5 wasn't as bad as The Last Jedi. Or it wasn't as bad as The Last of Us in some people's eyes. Last of Us Part 2. And I'm looking back and I'm like, yeah, it wasn't that bad. It didn't get that much heat compared to those two. So, when I think about it that way, I'm like, oh, okay, well, they don't have that much. They don't have to come back from as a hard of a fall as those two things. You know, and as we can see, Star Wars never came back. They were done. Last of Us is going to take a break for a while. So I don't know what's going to happen. You know what they should do with The Last of Us Part 3? They should have it, time jump, 40 years later. Ellie's an old lady. And her son is, she's 18 now. That's too old. So Ellie's 40. Ellie's 30. Ellie's 40. And her son is, how old would he be? 22. Yeah, that'd be good. So JJ be 22, Ellie's 40, and Dina's dead for some reason. I don't know. No, maybe she's still alive. Dina should be still alive too. Yeah, they need to meet back up and have a fight or something. I don't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay, she says if you have imagination, creativity, open world games can't get boring. Everything gets repetitive after a while, but if you love it, you don't care. And he says Last Jedi is the shit. I like elements of Last Jedi, definitely. But there was a big backlash, about how they treated Luke and all that stuff. So, yes, I agree with you about the boring part. But I'm just saying, without the variety, open world. Like, think about Earth as an open world. But if you're in the forest forever and ever and ever, you get kind of like, I'm in the forest. Or you're in the desert forever and ever, and it's all desert, you get kind of bored. So you need a variety of different biomes, if you will. Valley, desert, mountains, plains, rivers. Just different environments inside the installations. Warthog sections, pelican sections. They're gonna have all kind of stuff. What was the smaller ship? The smaller Firefly? Was it a Firefly? I don't remember what the actual Dragonfly. I think it was Dragonfly. Like the smaller ship, smaller like one-man ship, or I think it was two-man. Or no, it was a couple of people you could put in there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Pace says I might skip out on the Xbox Series X. It depends. Because the strategy, like how they're doing, how the rumors are as far as prices with the Lockhart and stuff, I'm like, that might be like a stopgap, right? You get a Lockhart and skip the Series X, until they come up with a revision for the Series X, or maybe they do like because by the time the next generation, like mid next generation, like 3-4 years from now, AMD's gonna have RDNA 3 out already. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be the next step. I'm already looking at the Ryzen 3000 series cards, and I'm like, yo, that's way better than what we're getting is what's Ryzen 2 and all that stuff. So it's like the jump is ridiculous. I think they're going to 5 nanometer. Because RDNA 2 is 7 nanometers, so I think RDNA 3 is going to be 5 nanometer. So the gains are going to be even more ridiculous. So I would say they are going to do another mid-gen upgrade, just like this gen, because it doesn't make sense to not. And what'll happen is, basically what's going to happen is the console makers, Microsoft and Sony, they're going to follow what AMD is doing. And so as far as when they release the new RDNA 3 stuff, that's when they're going to, they're already thinking about it because it's coming out. So they're going to, plot and plan about, okay, what's going to be our upgrade? You know what I'm saying? Instead of making a whole brand new console, they just do an upgrade, so that they can slot it in at like the same price, possibly like what PS4 did, and Xbox as well. And so they're replacing it, the newer one, and then the Xbox Series X gets slid down as far as price, and they have to fade it out because eventually that stuff gets harder and more expensive because it's out of production. They're not going to make these things forever. They're not going to make Jaguar cores forever. That's why Xbox Ones are going to be ceased to be made. Same with PS4. It's the same thing. Opti says, I'll just play whatever games come to Game Pass on my Xbox, on One X, or my PC. Yeah. I'd have to see. I gotta see the prices. Price right now. Price is. Yes, they're having a show July 23rd, but besides that, price. That's the main thing. Price is the keystone of this whole situation. And it's for both Microsoft and Sony. Who's gonna have the better price? If the prices are comparable, meaning the higher consoles, the more powerful consoles are the same prices, and then the discless PS5 is $100 less, and then the Lockhart is even less than that, which I believe it will be. So everything is kind of slotted where it should be. I think they'll both do well, honestly. I think Microsoft will have the cheapest console, and at the same time have the most expensive console within the two systems that they're putting out. Based on rumors. Pace Opti says, I got a 1440p for 144 megahertz Samsung gaming monitor coming. Gonna be gaming at 144 hertz, baby. That's dope. What's up, Bonds? How you doing? How's the Lappy how's the Lappy journal? Lappy Chronicles. That's what the Lappy Chronicles. How's the Lappy Chronicles going on your side? Hope everything's good where you be at. Cause yeah. And my green screen sucks, I know. Bond says I'm siding with Opti as far as the Xbox One X and PC. Yeah, I'm not buying one day one. That doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna chill with my Xbox One X. It's good enough, just like the PlayStation 4 Pro is good enough. Not really 4K, but good enough. So, the laptop is up and running. Good deal. Good to hear. Good job. Good to deal. Good to hear. I think, was that last week? I thought it was. Oh, you were waiting for something. Or you waiting for you to get it back? I think last week. I don't remember. But yeah. The way that they're saying, they say at least 2 years until they'll have true exclusives, and I think that's when the Xbox One family of consoles will be eventually phased out, and then you can look at a Lockhart for entry level, and it's probably not going to be that expensive, so you won't feel bad about buying a Lockhart. And if you want the best, if you got 144 hertz, you hook up that Series X to it, boy, boosh, you get 120. You get 120 frames a second, baby. You know what I'm saying? So that's good. That's a good look, man. You already getting ready for the next Xbox, Pace Opti. So yeah. So no, I think it's wise to wait, because honestly, it's not gonna hurt Microsoft. I mean, optically, you might be like, people be like, oh, Sony's selling more consoles or whatever, but once again, Microsoft doesn't care. Xbox doesn't care about selling console units. They want to sell you games. So if you buy the games on your Xbox One X or your PC, it's all the same. And it should be all the same. It's like, think about this. You think about Chevys or Fords or whatever, right? You can be like, yo, I got to go to the Ford plant and buy a Ford. Like, no. You go to, what I'm saying, Schumacher Chevrolet and buy it from there. Or you can go over to blah, 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 and buy your Chevy from there. You don't have to buy your Chevy specifically from Chevy. And that's why I get the comparison, where it's like, these dealerships, they get in the cars, games, and they sell it to the customers. It's a markup, but whatever. But it's the same price. It's not like you're going to get a discount for buying it straight from the Sony store or nothing, right? So it's the same price. So it's actually better. It doesn't matter. They want to sell you cars. They don't want to sell you dealerships. That doesn't make any sense. But that's the analogy that I'm using right now. Bond says you're correct about the car maker analogy. I mean, that's the first one that came to mind. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. So that's the difference between what Microsoft is doing and what Sony's doing. Microsoft is like, yo, it's all about the games. And I feel better about that strategy as far as the industry as a whole, because they're not relying on hardware to dictate how successful an industry is. And that's one of the main problems I have with how Sony's going about things recently. If you think about the crash in 84, whenever it was, that was because Atari was flooding the market with hot garbage games, right? And it was just the industry couldn't handle the inventory, and it was just a bunch of hot garbage. You know what I'm saying? It's bad. It's not the same now. Let me get back to reading. Bond says, system restored a laptop. I now have extra 1 terabyte laying about. Nice. Same with a Samsung and Apple phone. They want you to just spend dollars on their product. Yes, and that's the thing. You go to Apple Store, or you can go to Walmart. I think Walmart sell Apple phones, iPhones, Apple phones. You can go to AT&T and buy an iPhone, I think, or you can go and buy a Samsung there or whatever. So it's not about exclusively having it locked off in one place in order to make that one thing more. It's like It's like this. Isn't that an analogy? If Disney decided to only make Star Wars Land, whatever it's called, Outpost, blah blah, Outpost, whatever, in California, in Anaheim, they only made it there, not in Florida, not in Paris and Tokyo. I don't know if they're making it there, but whatever. Only in Anaheim. You can only go to Anaheim. I'm not going to freaking California just to go to Star Wars Land. They out there damn mind. But it's in Florida. It's like, oh, that's only 2 hours away. Boom, I'm there, son. I'm going to be on the Millennium Falcon. You know what I'm saying? It's more access. It opens it up. They get more units sold, quote unquote. It's really, it just feels, how it's like, I don't know, man. That don't feel like a good deal. It kind of feels like how I feel about politics right now. It feels like it's just not right. They're doing stuff in front of your face and they don't care. It's just blatant disregard of basic decency. And I don't want to put it in a way that I'm like trying to make them the super villain, but honestly, there has to be a better way for them to be successful and still be fair to their customers, to the loyal PlayStation 4 fans who have purchased PlayStation 4s, love them, and everything, right? There has to be a way for them to do that. They're not doing it. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, if it makes me feel bad I'm like, okay, that game looks dope. Oh my gosh. Like, you know what? You know what might make me buy a PlayStation 5? Here's what might make me buy a PlayStation 5. Probably not, but maybe. If they came out with a Yu Suzuki collection that included all of his arcade games, all of the different variants, hot garbage, doesn't matter. I want all the garbage versions. And HD remakes of all those Yu Suzuki games back in the day. If they not taken, you could put in Shenmue if you wanna. Probably won't play it, but I'm just saying you can put that in there. But specifically, I'm saying the 80s, mid to late 80s arcade games. Super Hang On, he did Hang On as well. Outrun, Space Harrier, Power Drift, Afterburner, Galaxy Force, Super Thunderblade. I think he did that too. All of those, right? Do that. PlayStation 5, Exclusive. I might consider eventually, but day one, no. You know what I would do? This is what I would do. Because this is what I did with my 3DS. I bought the Sega 3D collection. I bought the game first. So I would buy the PlayStation 5 game, the Yu Suzuki collection, Forever collection, all the game. I would buy that and be like, okay, I have the game. Now I gotta eventually get a PlayStation 5. And I will wait for a sale or whatever. But it's really about having those games. Because I have different versions of all of them, basically. But I want them all together in like one collection that I can play. And maybe I'll throw like, the PlayStation 5 in like an arcade cabinet and maybe hook it up to make it like the Yu Suzuki arcade or something. I don't know. Something stupid. But I would have to get a cheap PS5 for that. And that's the only reason why I would buy a PS5. Is that reason. And no other reason. That would be it, I think. Yeah, not for Miles Morales. Not for Horizon Forbidden West. That's what it's called, right? Not for God of War 2. And another thing about God of War 2, which I don't know if everyone is aware, Cory Barlog, that's his name, right? He's not directing this game. He's not on this game. He's not on the second game. He did the first game. He wrote the first game, and I believe he already wrote the second game before he actually wrote the first game. So I believe the second game is already written. So I think they just got somebody else to direct it. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna affect the game. Let's just say that, because he directed it. So how I'm thinking, based on my knowledge of how movies / video games are made, performance capture, the director of the games actually direct the actors in those segments, the motion capture segments. So you have to direct the actors. So not directors are not equal. So you look at George Lucas versus Christopher Nolan, not the same. And that's specifically not references. It's specifically about directing the actors, not anything else. Because everything else is kind of just animation tweaking and blending and all that stuff, and that's all game and animation. So that's past the motion capture phase. But getting the scenes right, getting the actors to say the stuff right, pacing and all that stuff, that's director. So if they don't have a good director, if they don't have a director that is as good as Cory was directing the actors in the second game, that's going to adversely affect the quality of the second game. Imagine George Lucas directing, I don't know, one of the Christopher Nolan Batman? No, that's a bad example. Tenet? I didn't even see Tenet. What was the one? Inception. Imagine George Lucas directing Inception. That's... I think that might be a bad movie. It's hard to I I'm thinking about the movies that George Lucas directed. They weren't Star Wars. So THX 1138. That was a weird movie. American Graffiti. American Graffiti didn't feel like. It felt like the actors were just playing themselves, but they were saying the words written. You know what I mean? Because you see Harrison Ford, it's like, oh, it's Harrison Ford in a cowboy hat and a white shirt. Okay. Oh, it's Ron Howard playing Richie Cunningham, except he's not Richie Cunningham. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's who else was in there? Was Carrie Fisher in there? Richard Dreyfuss was in there too, right? Yeah, I think it was. Heck says I like Inception. Yeah, Inception is a good movie, but imagine if George Lucas directed Inception. You'd be seeing all kinds of spaceships flying around. No, you see all kind of puppets. I'm just saying that God of War 2, I don't know. It's up in the air right now because your boy Corey's not on it. When Tim Schafer left God of War, Tim Schafer, not Tim Schafer, oh my gosh. Yeah, it is. Wow, okay. No, it's not Tim Schafer. Tim Schafer is Double Fine. What the hell is his name? That, Abdi says Tenet is never coming out. Probably. Inception was awesome. Keeps getting delayed, yeah. I want to see Tenet, though. I'm going to see it whenever it comes out. Probably on VOD. David Jaffe. When David Jaffe left God of War, it sucked, didn't it? No, God of War 3 was okay. God of War 3 was alright. I think after God. So God of War 1 and 2. Wait, did he do God of War 2? I'm trying to think. I don't think he did God of War 2 either. Or he might have. That's why I'm confused. Alright, so that's a bad example. But God of War 4, God of War Ascension, aka God of War Ascension, that wasn't a good game. I mean, if Tenet comes out on VOD, I'm watching it day one, even if it was 25. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna wait for the 4K Blu-ray. I'm gonna wait for that because I probably want to watch it over and over and over and over and over again. And I do collect a certain amount of like movies, like oh, I gotta get that on Blu-ray. Like the first 4K Blu-ray I got was Logan. And that's still like one of the best because that movie was so good. Even though it didn't really take advantage of the 4K-ness of it, it's not one of those movies like, oh man, it looks so good, like how Jurassic Park was for DVDs or whatever. Or it was DVDs at that point. Or what was that called? Valerium was good for. I guess Valerium is a pretty good showcase for special effects, but it was just a bad. My first 4K Blu-ray was Logan. Wolverine, Logan. Yeah. So, but my first 4K Blu-ray player was the Xbox One X. That's why I didn't have an S. I didn't get an S. I stopped. I was like, I wanted a 4K Blu-ray player, but I was like, I'm gonna get an X. I'm gonna wait and splurge and get an X. Yeah, Valerian. Valerian wasn't a good movie. It looked cool, but special effects wise, and that's like I kind of make the parallel to how I felt out of being a graphics whore, because I used to be a graphics whore back in the day. Sega Master System versus NES. Sega Master System had more colors, so their graphics were technically better. NES had a better sound and music. That Rihanna singing 4K, yeah, it's pretty good. But so moving that forward, whether it's 4K Blu-rays or wow, I just lost it. Or being a graphics whore, sorry, in video games, graphics don't matter that much to me. I mean, they help with immersion and such, but they're not the first thing. They're added bonus if they're super dope fly, but really it is fun gameplay. It is first. I hate to be a cliche, but gameplay is first. And Graphics are cool, but it is a bonus. If your gameplay is tight and the graphics is like, whoa, then that's like, yeah, let's go. Good. Bond says, okay, think of Jason Bourne franchise, Doug Liman, Toby Gilroy and Paul Greengrass, 3 directors. And, well, if I have seen all the films, then you have a good analogy. Oh, I don't. I've seen the Jason Bourne stuff, of course. Toby Gilroy and Paul Greengrass. I've seen Greengrass stuff. I don't remember. That's the problem. My brain doesn't work. So, I know I've seen Paul Greengrass's stuff. I just don't remember his. So let's do this. Greengrass. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up before you type it in. He has done. Oh, he's okay. So he's the Bourne. Captain Phillips, I never saw. I've seen most of the Bournes, although I forget. No, I didn't see the last one. Wait, I did. No, I think I did see them all. Bloody Sunday Night, I never saw that. Green Zone, didn't see that. Look at his other stuff. Murder of Stephen, how dare you? Let me look at his IMDb real quick. So filmography, United, 93, July 22nd. Oh, all filmography. Here we go. Director. Oh, no, go back. Dog it. Sorry. Director. God dog it. Keep pressing around. Oh my god, it keeps shifting because of stupid ads. Halloween Kills. Captain Phillips is good. Halloween franchise director. Rob Zombie and John Carpenter, 2 different directors. Oh, yeah. I never saw the Rob Zombie Halloween. I heard it was. Actually, I want to see it. Oh, actually, I want to see the latest one. Is Halloween Kills the latest one that they have it on the on the shelf, so to speak? I think it's ready to go, but they haven't, obviously released it because of stuff. But I think that movie is done. The latest movie, Jamie Lee Curtis is in it again. The John Carpenter, he made some really cool movies. I mean, some of them are like, well, like it. I mean, the Thing, the second thing, with Kurt Russell thing, and what's his name? Wow, I can't believe I just forgot his name. They Live, a lot of kind of iconic sci-fi horror stuff. Rob Zombie's like, I mean, I've seen. I don't think I've seen any of his movies, but I know of a lot of the movies that he's done, especially specifically the remakes. But I've never really been. I don't think I've ever been drawn to his stuff. Yeah, House on Haunted Hill. Was it what was the other one? Was it they were the desert mutant people? What are they called? People in the desert hill. I don't remember what it's called. Did I see House on Haunted Hill? No, I don't think I saw that either. It was a cool. Speaking about like remakes, Let Me In and Let the Right One In. So I saw both of those movies, and I saw the original. I think it's Swedish. I think it's a Swedish movie, and it was dubbed. And I saw that movie first. Dubbed. No, sorry, subbed, not dubbed. And that, the foreign version of the Let Me In, was so much better than Let the Right One In. Let the Right One In is the American version with homegirl. I forgot her name. She was in that movie with she was in Kick-Ass. I forgot her name. And they were similar as far as how they looked, but I think the actress, the young actor, female actor, I think she was better. I mean, I think she had a better look, and it just felt different because it was a foreign film and it looked like it was a foreign film as opposed to the US version, which looked like it was trying to copy the look of the original, which it was, and it worked, but you ever get that itch? But I think some of the key scenes were more impactful or just didn't exist in the first one. I mean, in the US version. But yeah, that's one thing. I can look at both versions, and they're closer together as far as like how they were made, like, you know, when they were made. I stay away from 90% of US made horror films of the past 20 years. I mean, you know what? Hot trash on a summer day. I think a lot of the horror films, American horror films, it's really campy stuff. It's not really about, oh, that was such a good horror movie. I would say with kind of an exception of the Jordan Peele stuff, which is okay. I think Us, I've seen Us, and I've seen what was the first one he did? Jeez, my brain. I definitely need to start taking vitamins for my brain. Oh, the grunt. Oh yeah, I saw it. Did I see the Japanese version of that? I don't think I saw the Japanese version of that. Get Out. Thank you, Bonds. Yeah. So Get Out was cool. And I was like, okay, there's a couple of different layers to it, but that was pretty cool. And then Us was not as cool, but it was like cool in a different way. Like that was the cool cousin of Get Out. But I think Get Out was cool because it was kind of like the first, like, Jordan Peele, the funny guy, he's making a horror. Okay, let's see what. And you saw it, I was like, oh. And then I saw Us, I was like, oh, a little bit more gruesome at points. But then when you see like the premise at the end, I was like, because if you think about, like, both of them have like a point in the movies where it's like, oh snap, that's what the movie's about, and then boom, 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 it's at the end. But if you look at the premise of Get Out versus Us, I mean, Get Out is a smaller scope premise. Us is a little bit more, a little bit harder to believe, you know, because it's like, oh, okay, is that really Hands Across America for real? And I totally forgot it was like a period piece, and that's when I was like, oh, okay, oh, that's why they weren't red. Oh, it's so weird. It's like, wait, huh? So the whole world has underground? I don't. It's so weird when you think about it. Bond says Get Out was great, and I like Us for what it was. Two different films. It gives you two different scares. Yeah. I think Us had like the acting, like what's her name? Wow, I totally forgot her name. But Maz Kanata, she was so good. And the fact that, oh man, yeah, you know what? I think thinking about it, like, it was a ridiculous premise, but the whole, her character and her doppelganger stuff, that whole thing, I think Us kind of, because it was that twist, it was like her twist. And then, well, it was like the overall twist, like, what's going on? And then her twist, and then, you know, the whole Hands Across America stuff. I'm like, oh, there's like a whole bunch of, you know. And then you think about Us, it's like, oh, they're swapping brains, and what? It's crazy. What's going on? It's so crazy. Oh man, Jordan Peele, just keep making them. Just keep making the movies, man. Don't listen to haters or whatever. Just keep making the movies because they're so. I mean, first of all, they look great. I love the look of his movies. Yeah, 2 movies. You know, he's knocked. I would say he knocked out 2 home runs. Boom, boom. Thank you, Hecht. I appreciate. He's knocked out 2 home runs. I would say that, or at least an inside the park home run, at least. But keep making them because beautiful. The actors he's chosen, perfect. It just and the fact that on us specifically, I knew pretty early on that I already knew the premise going in, but I knew pretty early on that, oh, she's the actual one from, you know what I'm saying, underneath the ground. So she was the one that we I forgot her character's name, but Lupita Nyong'o, yeah, Lupita's character. It was to switch, so her doppelganger escaped and became the regular person, and then her regular went down underneath it, became ridiculous and crazy. This is so good. I was like, oh, spoilers for us, but it was so great. And the budgets are so small that no spoilers. Come on. You've seen it. Have you seen it? You saw it, right? Yeah, you saw it. It was a $20 million. That's, I mean, that's small compared to films, but that's good. Like, based on like what it looked like. Yeah, I can see that. There weren't too many special effects. There was some. I mean, the fire stuff and not too many special effects, but there were some. Yeah, and they always do like kind of background replacement and stuff. But that's not. I mean, that's special effects, but it's not as you know, it's not like spaceships and aliens and stuff. So Bond says that was the budget, and it made over $220 million at the box office. Yeah, Blumhouse is cleaning up, man, because they're getting these directors that are making, well, horror films technically, or historically horror films are cheaper to make, and they make they have a greater return on investment. Let's say it that way, because it's less. But I think, generally speaking, filmmaking is becoming cheaper to create because of technology. And it's a thing that I appreciate George Lucas for, because he is a super technology dude. So he's always looking for technology to get better in order to tell his stories easier, more effectively, cheaper, budget-wise. That's what he's always said. And that's one thing I would say I will never take away from George Lucas is that aspect of his push for technology to always become better for the industry, you know. And now Unreal's being used in, you know, The Mandalorian, which is, you know, a Lucasfilm thing. So it's kind of come around, even though it wasn't directly because of George Lucas, you know, the whole Unreal and the whole volume technologies that they're using. But it's like it's feeding into his kind of ideology or just methodology of thinking as far as technology advancing film industry. And so, like, right now, right, if I was the best CG dude and Blender dude making special effects and environments and spaceships and animation and all, I can make a sci-fi film all by myself. I could do the music, I could do all the shots, I could technically do it on almost zero budget. Blender's free. I have the programs for the music and stuff. I already have that stuff. I got the microphone to do whatever voices I could do. I could do Foley work. I could do it all. So it just takes time, you know, and that's the main thing. It's just, you know, so I can do like a 1 minute or 2 minute short. I think that's actually what I'm gonna end up doing. Probably music videos more so than anything else. And also I can write music. I can write lyrics, I can rap, I can sing a little bit. So, you know, jack of all trades, master of none, maybe, but me as an example can endeavor in these types of films or film projects that were like, you look at the film industry, and I think that's one problem. I'm going into film. I think look at the film industry, it's bloated, just like what Sean Layden was talking about at the. Really, he was talking about Sony's approach to AAA game making, and that it's too expensive. Their games, they're making the games, they're too expensive. They need to make smaller games in order to rein in the budget for these games. They're too big and they're too expensive. And it's the same thing with the movie industry, where you got unions, you got SAG, and that's fine because, you know, actors and such, people who work crews and stuff need to be paid. But at the same time, it's increasing budgets. You know, the constant mantra is bigger is better. Look, if Disney wants to make these huge giant movies and pay all these people, I have no problem with that. But there needs to be a sector of the industry where it accommodates smaller films the same way that it accommodates these super huge budget films like the Avengers stuff. You know what I mean? I was watching Film Right today with Josh and wow, I totally forgot his brother's name, Connolly, and they had another guy who made a short film. I didn't actually watch the short film. I watched the behind the scenes and stuff like that, and I have to go back and watch it. But I totally forgot what it was called. But he made it all himself. As far as he shot it, he wrote it, and he directed it. He had his wife do a couple of shots as far as just pressing the camera button. But he set up all the shots. It's all tripod work and he did a lot of post zooming and stuff. He did all the composition, but he had people on the other end doing color grading and effects and stuff. But he really did. It was just him in the short, and it was about him. What was it called again? I totally forgot. But he was in like a hazmat suit. Basically, he spent $400 on a hazmat suit. I think that's the most expensive thing. And he shot everything. And I believe he was in Texas, Austin maybe. And Austin is shut down, right? So it was. And all of the streets were empty for the most part. So he could have free reign to shoot these crazy apocalyptic type of shots. And basically it was a spaceship that was over the city. And so he was walking through the city in his hazmat and there's nobody there, no cars, no people. And it was pretty cool. I was like, oh, okay. And I was thinking about that too. It's like, man, I want to shoot something like that. Everything's shut down. I can't because I'm in Florida, and these freaking idiots they just like, huh? What's going on? Mask? What's that? They don't know what the hell's going on. There's so much traffic. Like when we first got locked down, it was like, oh, this is like a Sunday morning. You know what I'm saying? Or this is like a Saturday where everybody's home, nobody else to work, right? A couple months go by, boom. Mad traffic. Everybody's out. It's like everything's open. It's so ridiculous. It's like I couldn't even do it. And another thing he did was he shot everything at the magic hours, meaning sunrise, sunset, dusk, and dawn, to get the nice lighting, because that's the best time. So he shot for 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, and then in the middle he could edit or do whatever. So it's pretty dope. It's cool. That's super smart. And I was thinking about ways like, how can I shoot my own something like that? At first, I do have an idea for a music video, but I have to build a specific camera rig first. And it's been done before. It's nothing special, and I don't want to buy a rig. So I was thinking about how can I do it? How can I do it? So logistically, I need a motor. I have motors, so I have to figure it out. But I just need to build a rig, and it's a pretty big rig. So big rig. Mine says automaker GM in the Hummer line, and the consumer market for SUV, larger portion for fast food, more TV shows, more option on the menu when ordering food, free shipping with 25 purchase, litter the internet. Yeah, that's true. That's one thing that Amazon does, because I don't have Amazon Prime, so I usually buy a couple things on Amazon, but I need them. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna buy something just to buy something. Like the plug for my camera. You see that? You see the depth of field? Because I have what lens is that? I think it's a chumi. I don't remember what lens that is. Ouch. Oh, it's right here. Duh. Oh, that's not the right freaking lens cap. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Dust Till Dawn. James Woods versus James Woods from Videodrome. Who's the better James Woods? I don't think I've seen Videodrome, so I can't say. Let's see, James Woods and Hercules. I don't even remember James Woods in Dust Till Dawn. Or well, you talking about just regular James Woods versus James Woods from Videodrome? I don't remember. I haven't seen Videodrome. I've heard of it. I've never seen it though, so I can't. Film and photos. So how about it's animated, but still Hercules James Woods versus. You know what? That's the best. That's the best James Woods. I can't even say anything. I was gonna say Contact James Woods, but yeah, he was kind of the bad guy in Contact, but he was better in Hercules. So that's my opinion. I'm emo. I need a drink. Oh, that's good. So my idea for this music video, I haven't decided on the song yet, but I think I have a rhythm type of thing. And I think I'm going to use this phone, which is, it has a 4K camera on it. So I just have to get the lighting right, and I have to figure something out. I might have to actually do a 360 green screen if I want to do this correctly. But I don't know. There's a couple of things I have to figure out. See, Bond says Hades James Woods versus Contact James Woods. He had a motive in each. However, one was a jerk and the other was self-serving. Who knows? I like, Hades was so much fun. He's so much fun, and they captured in the animation. They captured his like face really good. Like, this is perfect. It's like that was like the best part of her. Like I think of Hercules. I'm like, okay, Danny DeVito was in it. Don't remember who played Hercules. I don't remember the lady person. I just remember James Woods. So James Woods used to be cool. I don't know what happened to him. I used to like him. What was that? The vampire movies he was in. That was James Woods. Yeah, was that James Woods? I can't remember. I liked him. I liked him. I liked him. I don't know what he's doing now though. But anyway, wow, it's already 9:00. Cool. I guess I should talk more about movies since Bonds likes the movies a lot. You know what I'll do? I'll do more half and half. I'll do half video games, half movies. How about that? I'll do it that way, because I do like movies, animation, anime. We'll do all that stuff because it's kind of they're kind of connected. Anime in particular, because I feel anime is more akin to movies than animated films, if that makes sense. Bond says film to games or games to films. No. Probably games to films. I'll probably do first hour games, 7 to 8 games, and then 8 to 9 films. Which includes live action, animated, anime, and shorts, and everything that you would consider, and possibly TV as well, like Mandalorian. I would put that into that category as well, because it's TV, but it's riding on the edge. If they plopped all of the Mandalorian, you know what I'm saying? If Disney would do this, I would probably buy it. If they did the Mandalorian supercut, meaning not saying, oh, they're gonna cut them all together into a 10-hour or however many episodes there film, but edit it down, take all of the fat out, and just boom, 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 cut out scenes if you need to. There's a lot of filler. And make it a 3-4 hour movie. I'd be like, yeah, cool. Do not mention anything made by Uwe Boll. Nah, I won't. Have I ever watched any of his films? He has such a bad reputation. I've seen. Oh, I started watching one of the. What is the one with the vampire lady? I totally forgot what that's called. They made game. It was based off a video game. I started watching the beginning of it, and I couldn't get past like 4 minutes. Hold up. You know what? M. Night Shyamalan used to be good. Uwe Boll never was good. Blood Rain, that's it. It wasn't the first Blood Rain because it was a different actress. It was the second or third one, I think. And what was it? They were on a train or something. I don't remember. I was like, ugh, I can't do it. M. Night Shyamalan, I will watch only because there's a slim chance that the movie might be good. Although he's been having stinkers. I think his last movie was good though. Yeah, I think it was the third film, Blood Rain. But like, if you think about M. Night Shyamalan, the two movies that I didn't like a lot were After Earth and Avatar, the last Airbender. Let's just call it that. Those are the two movies that turned me off. After Earth was just like whatever, blah. But Avatar, I had so much high hopes for it because the series was so dope. And it's on Netflix now. I was like, damn, man, should I watch Avatar again, man? That's like three seasons, I think. It's like, damn, that's like 3 seasons. That's a lot of time to watch. But it's so good. It's like, It was so good that I bought the Blu-rays of, I think it was Blu-rays or maybe DVDs of Korra, Avatar, the second stuff. Legend of Korra. Which was good in its own right. I don't think story-wise and character-wise it was good as the first Avatar. I appreciate that it was like, a couple of generations past and they had like kind of future tech, but not really. It was kind of dope. I was like, yeah, that's kind of good ideas. And the animation, how they did the choreography was so dope. I was like, yo, that's what made me like I think it was the first episode where she did like she earth bent some stuff and did a kick and she was fighting some fools. I was like, yo, I'm going to watch this right. It was pretty good. I was like, all right. Freaking Nickelodeon got me hooked on this cartoon, son. So when the last Airbender, M. Night Shyamalan last Airbender came out, I was like, oh my god, what are you doing? What are we doing here? There was only one good part in it when he almost freaked out and he almost did the Avatar. He was in the desert. He saw all the people who had died or something. He's like, rah! I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. And Momo was dope. What was it, Momo? That's the name of the big buffalo, right? The flying buffalo dude. That's Momo, right? He's good. Everything else, you know what? I'm gonna go watch. I think I have it on Blu-ray. No, not Blu-ray. I think I have it on DVD. It has to be DVD. I think I'm gonna watch that. I think I'm going to watch it again. I hope it's on Netflix because I don't feel like pulling that out. Anyway, I don't even know if I. Anyway, I'm out. I appreciate you, Bonds. I appreciate your Kaijudo. I appreciate your Pace. Hopti. I appreciate you, Bridget. Appreciate you. I said, you hacked. I know you probably left by now, but I appreciate you, hacked. Don't get a PS4. It's garbage. I'm just kidding. Bond says the Blood Rain comic is okay. The games was meh. The films are pandering to blood, gore, tits, and BDSM females killing Nazis by the truckload. Yeah, I never watched the movie, so I couldn't tell. But I think the first one might have been okay because they had the Terminator lady in it. Terminator 3? Yeah, she was in Terminator 3. She was in it, so I was like, oh, it might be dope, and then it wasn't dope. I think that's the only reason why people actually watched that movie, because she was in it. And then she was like, I ain't doing this again. I think she might have been in the second one, maybe, but she was definitely not in the third one. Yes, Kirsten Loken. Yep. I liked her in Terminator 3. What was the subtitle in that game? Yeah, you probably have it wrong. I know who you're talking about though. It's close enough. It looks right though. Yeah, it looks right. But whatever, I don't remember. But Judgment Day. No. Judgment Day was Terminator 2 Judgment Day. First one was Terminator. Rise of the Machines? No, that was was that the third one? Jacket. I think it was right. It was okay, thank you. I know my brain works sometimes. Anyway, if you haven't seen Hamilton yet, I don't know if you like musicals. Hamilton is hot. Not garbage. It's fire. It's lit. Watch it. It's good. Wait for it. It's his best song on Hamilton. My opinion, of course. And Leslie Odom Jr. is the best singer on that show. Better than all the females. That's hard to believe. But your boy Leslie Even though he has a girl's name, he's the best singer. Well, Leslie is the guy's name too, but anyway, he is the good. Anyway, I'm out, y'all. Appreciate you everybody hanging out. Everybody in chat, DC Nate, Doom Plague, Normie, and also Alt. Sorry. DC Nate, Derek Gage, DJ Zanna, Doom Plague, Havoc 978, Jedi of Light, Nux Sonic, Malcolm Owen, MTX, Sub Z, and Warham and Zappy. I appreciate everybody. We're gonna say goodbye to Mixer next week because that'll be the last. I believe that should be the last date before they close up shop. But nobody's in there anyway. Although Tiger Claw is hosting me, auto hosting, so he's not even trying. But yeah, I'll look into the Facebook gaming stuff. Right now, I'm just streaming on my personal profile, but I'll look into the T4 Salvation. I never saw anything past T3 actually. I didn't see T4. I didn't see T5, which was Genesis, right? What was the last one? It was Salvation, and then Genesis, and then this next one, which was with the girl and Sarah Connor and Lil John Connor got killed at there was some alternate future. It was weird. That's where they negated 4 and 5. 3, 4, and 5. I tried to explain Terminator to my dear friend. She was not impressed with the action of future Connor action. By making his son and messing with the past and creating his savior son. Yeah, it doesn't make sense how Reese came back to make John Connor. That doesn't make any sense. That's literally a paradox. Right? So during the time Reese's mother, it's a paradox. I can't even explain it because it doesn't make any sense. The time paradox doesn't make any sense because a future man can't go back and make the savior from the future because it's impossible because Reese had to be born after John Connor was born. So his mother was probably when does the future happen in Terminator 2 or Terminator 1? When is the future? What's the year in the future? Let me look that up real quick. Let's see. What is the year in the first Terminator future? The future. Oh my god. Let's see if that works.
According to Sci-Fi Wire, the war against the machines was near an end in the year 2029, 45 years in the future, when Skynet sends the first T-800...
45 years? Okay, so 45 years from 80... whatever... 99. 99 was the future? The war against the machines was near an end in 2029, 45 years in the future when Skynet sends the first T-800, then called by Arnold Schwarzenegger. So... Dark Fate was the name of the last one. Dark Fate. It says 97 here, though. 13 years in the future, the war against the machines was nearly ended in the year 2029. So 45 years from... 80... I guess it was 84? Right? That's when Terminator came out, right? 83 or 84? Year 2029, Skynet decided to see T... Right, okay, yeah. So 2029, all right. So, 2029, Reese, let's say, so Reese was, he was older than 20, what? Let's say Reese was 29, so he was born in 2000, right? And Terminator was in the 80s, so, I think it was 84. So, if So his mom would had to be born around the same time that he sent, yeah, that they sent back at least. His mom had to be born at least around the same time that the first film happened in '84. And you figure, well, that's only 16 to be 2000. You know, so that's not even enough. Well, I mean, it's enough if it's a teen pregnancy, and Reese was born in '29, then he gets sent back to '84. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's no way to, unless you do parallel universes. That's the only way you could do it, right? He came from a different universe, different parallel Terminator universe, whatever. Anyway, Bonds, I appreciate the, I appreciate the deep dive into Terminator. We're not gonna, you know what I need? I need to watch the rest of the Terminators. I haven't watched Dark Fate, even though I think that's probably the best one since 2. I think that's what I heard. So that might be a good one to watch. Sarah Connor age was never established. Sarah Connor's age. Yeah, but I mean, she was maybe 30 or so. I mean, her age is irrelevant actually, because she's never time traveled, because she's always been consistent with wherever they come back to. She's there for the most part. So like in the first one, she was young. She got Pregos. Second one, she got Crazified and Diesel, still on the same timeline, you know. And then the third one, she's not even in it, I don't think. For the fourth, fifth, and then the last one, she's in it, but that's a different. They changed the future, right? They went back and killed young John Connor, and so then I think they do a time skip. So from the end of Terminator 2, that's when Dark Fate happens, and they go back and kill young John Connor. I haven't seen it. I just based on the stuff I've seen. And then I guess they flash forward to when she's older and she's all mad and stuff. Bond says her lifetime of the conflict would be about 20 years, from possible teen mom to having a full head of silver hair. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. She was probably 20-something at least. Was it 20 years? When is Dark Fate? When is the year Dark... Let's see. Dark Fate. Terminate Dark Fate. Mexico City. God, I guess I got Dark Fate. Timeline. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Dark Fate. Oh, they don't have it there. God dog, I don't want a video. Let me see what this is. I'll look this up and then I'll bounce. I gotta go in and eat a little something, play some video games. I've been playing Observer on Xbox One X, and it's not a bad game actually. It's pretty good. All right, so Dark Fate. Okay, Terminator is set primarily in 84, right? We established that. Terminator 2, Judgment Day, 95. Okay. Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. I haven't seen that one either. Primarily in 2004. Terminator Salvation, set primarily in 2018. All right. Genesis, set in 2029 and 84. Okay. Wait, they go back in Genesis? Okay. Terminator Dark Fate, set in 2022. So that's more than 20 years. Because if she was 20 something in 84, like say she was 20 in 84, she's freaking, that's 40, she's close to 60. She's close to her actual age. She's 60 something. Yeah. 62? Is that right? Yeah. No, 58. So yeah, that's about right. Yeah. Anyway. That's when you know it's time to go. When you start dropping stuff. Anyway, I appreciate you, Bonds. I appreciate the convo. Next week we'll do the same thing. I have to finish editing a video this week. The same video I've been editing for 7 years. But yeah, it's not 7 years, but I'm just saying, feels like it. But yeah. So eventually I'll get to a point where I have a secondary computer. I think I might, if I don't buy a new lawnmower. Next week film Looper, 12 Monkeys. Looper. You want to do a Rian Johnson type of thing? We could do a Rian Johnson. If I could find Brick and rewatch it and rewatch Looper. Knives Out was pretty good. You know what? We might do a Rian Johnson thing. You got to remind me though. I'll remind myself. I'll look it up. Because I have The Last Jedi. No, I don't. Yes, I do. Wait. I think I did buy The Last Jedi. I think I have The Last Jedi. I don't have Looper. I mean, I don't have. I think I have Looper. I might have Looper on. Oh, you just want time travel stuff? Maybe we'll just do a Rian Johnson thing, or maybe we'll. I think it's better to do the topical or subject matter versus directors, because like I think I like the idea of doing like time travel. Maybe we'll do a time travel talk next week where it's like Back to the Future, Looper, 12 Monkeys, even Star Wars. I mean, there's some time travel in Star Wars too, so which I think they might end up implementing, which is crazy. The rumors of the Star Wars fans are going crazy right now about them talking about going into the whatever it's called and changing the timeline and stuff. Like, what? Okay. It's kind of got me excited. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, oh, you know what? That might be a good look, you know? That way they can just reset everything or a lot of stuff. But I think time travel might be a good look. And we can put a little Terminator stuff in there too. But Happy Death Day 2, saw it because girlfriend asked, and it had a pretty okay time story. That's the Groundhog Day type of death thing where she keeps dying over and over again, right? That's also, I think that's a separate, I think that might be a separate category, like the Groundhog Day type of, because there was an episode of, I believe it was Tales from the Crypt or Twilight Zone or whatever it was, where this one guy kept, doing a time loop basically, and he kept killing himself because he was like, he knew he was in the time loop, and he kept coming back and back, and he was just killing himself in different ways because he was so frustrated about it. But I think that might be a different, I think that's a different type of category, as far as it's like a Groundhog Day loop, a time loop versus time travel. I think those are two different kind of genres, if you will. Because Worst of the Worst, Looper or Jumper. You know what? I never saw Jumper, and I would say Jumper is, from what I've heard that Jumper is worse. Wait, did I see Jumper? Wait a second. I think I may have seen Jumper, but I think it was so bad that I don't think I've seen Jumper. You know when your brain automatically deletes stuff? I think that's what happened with, because I remember Hayden Christensen jumping and somebody's following him and he's just running or something. I think I did see it. Oh my gosh. Looper is definitely better, even though it wasn't a great film. And the ending was like, whatever. Looper's definitely a better movie. Although the makeup was, the Joseph Gordon-Levitt makeup was a little, it wasn't bad. It was just Asian film Returner. I'd have to look that up. I mean, it seems like I have to do a lot of homework for next week. What did I do? I don't do homework for this show, gosh darn it. I guess if I wanted to be better, I really do need to start talking about films and such. So okay, you forced me. Returner. French. I'm not watching a French film because actually, I'd probably watch a French film first because there's probably titties in it. They love the titties. Time Cop, I've seen that now. Yeah, you're talking about time. You know what is another good one? Well, you know what? That's even a different one, but there are not as many movies. The one, Jet Li, where he goes in different dimensions and kills himself and gets more powerful. I was like, that premise is ridiculous. But Jet Li is the perfect actor to do that because he's such a badass. So I was gonna say that's time travel too. That's multi-dimensional travel, so that doesn't count. But the whole premise just kind of fascinates me because it's like a little bit of a touch in reality, in that that's actually a theory that some scientists have in our real world. So I was like, wait, multi pass. So the one about how about film? How about Project Album? Oh, I wanted to see that. I never did see that one. That's a lot of stuff I gotta watch. Okay, so I'm not gonna watch all that stuff, but I need to. Okay, so let's see. Let's say time travel will be the. We'll just say time travel for now, and we'll leave the time loop. Let's say time loop instances, or let's say time loop mechanics, because some films have time loops where the whole movie isn't the time loop. Like Doctor Strange had a time loop in it at the end, which was kind of the climax, and that's what kind of had him win overall at the end. He used a time loop on Dormammu. Was it Dormammu? Yeah. And that was kind of cool. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. It was kind of dope. Or Groundhog Day, which is the classic Bill Murray joint. Harold Ramis, he directed that, right? I think. Oh yeah, at least he wrote it. And last thing, the fascinating thing about Groundhog Day, and I just learned it, is that he spent in that time loop. I have to look this up again, but what I heard was he spent 10,000 years in that time loop. And I'm like, what? When I heard that totally changed my perspective of that movie. It utterly and totally blew my mind. I was like, wait, 10,000 years in that time loop? And I was like, and now that's kind of like the greatest movie. Right? If you think about the context of, he was doing that for 10,000 years. It's like, what? It's ugh. I was like, of course he's a freaking pianist expert. He should know so many things. At 10,000 years, he should know. Oh, Donnie Darko. Donnie Darko was good. But wait, wasn't that a time loop too? I think that was a time loop as well, right? I know it was time travel. Yeah, no, that was time travel. That wasn't time. I mean, it was a loop, but it was definitely time travel. I mean, if you want to think about time travel is a time loop, how we're discussing it anyway. Yeah, Donnie Darko is definitely cool. All right, so yeah, we'll just do time travel in general, and then I'll Deja Vu. Did I ever see that one? I don't think so. But we'll discuss some time travel movies next week in depth. Not the Avengers, not Endgame, because that's. Well, I mean, we could probably talk about it a little bit, but not that much. But I appreciate you, Bonds. Everybody else I said before. Have a good week, everybody. Don't get stressed out and all that stuff, and don't get caught up. You know what I mean? Wear a mask if you got it. Use it. Wash your hands. I would say take a shower, preferably with your loved one. Since you're in the same house, you might as well, save water and just wash together. I've always had to think about. I think it was Friday the 13th part 4, 3. Was 3 the final chapter or 4 the final? I don't remember. But there's a shower scene that always kind of turned me on, man, because those boobies, wet boobies. They were having nookies in the showers. I was like, I love it. And they die, of course, because that's what you do. If you're having teen angst in the Jason movie, he smells. He's like, I think I smell sexist. Of course, Jason doesn't talk like that because he doesn't talk. Why doesn't Jason talk? Did he ever talk? I thought he maybe had a speech impediment or something. I know he's a little. I was gonna say I know he was a little slow. I think he was. I think it was disabled mentally. But I mean, after he drowned, I think he after he had died and came back to life. Yeah, he was changed. My girlfriend tuned me out when I get into these films. She says I do too much. Not the last one. The Philadelphia Experiment. Oh, not the last one. Philadelphia. I didn't see that one either. Was that the one? I'm thinking about something totally different. Anyway, my brain's out of gas, and my brain doesn't hold a lot of information these days, and I am forgetting words, so that's a bad thing. So I need to train my brain better, meaning read, vitamins, and also more sleep. Sleep's good. I love it. Anyway, appreciate you, Bonds. Gotta go down. Gotta go eat me some snacks. Sugar in my body, maybe. Play some Xbox. I'm gonna play some more Observer. I take a little bit of time off. But Sound of Thunder, half-assed. Man, stop mentioning movies. I know what your girlfriend means when you say you do too much. Nah, man, you got a passion for movies. I appreciate it though, because it's like encyclopedic knowledge of a list of movies. I mean, I have a lot of like DVDs and Blu-rays. I used to have my mom. I think I get it from my mom because she collected a lot of VHS. And I had a few at the beginning. I had like The Abyss. I gotta find The Abyss in 4K because that's like, there's some movies that are like, sometimes you're like, oh, I gotta get the DVD of that, or I gotta get, I gotta upgrade to, I gotta get The Abyss. What else do I gotta get? I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna get the original Star Wars, and I did that. I bought the Blu-ray. I bought the DVD. Back when the DVDs came out, when they re-released them, and then it was the special editions, which are good because they cleaned them up. And so I was like, oh, that's cool, but they got special effects. But I was like, all right. But then they came out on Blu-ray, but they don't have an 8K. They don't have a 4K Blu-ray of the trilogy. Not yet. I think they're coming out soon. So I bought Empire Strikes Back. Only Empire Strikes Back on Blu-ray. Because I had the DVDs and I watched it. I was like, that's kind of fuzzy. You know what I'm saying? It's not 1080p or whatever. I mean, no, it's 720, I believe, DVD. Or 480, whatever. So I got the 4K, and there's some artifacting and crazy stuff. And I was looking at it, I was like, what the hell is all these dots on my... Huh? So I was like, all right, I got to wait for the 4K. For real. And I'll just buy Empire again, because... maybe I'll buy the rest of them, but... I just like Empire, honestly. It's going to be real. We have not even touched the films with aliens and time travel. Battlefield Earth, just cause Battlefield Los Angeles. Oh, did I see Battlefield Los Angeles? I think I did see that one. Battlefield Earth was... Ugh. Okay, so there's a lot of movies. Hold up. I got to rethink this for a second. First thing I'll do is make a list of films with time travel in them. Just generally speaking. I'll go through the list and I'll see. I guess I'll read the synopsis of them all, basically. Because I won't be able to watch them all. And some of them I remember, obviously. Like Back to the Future, you remember that stuff. But some I haven't seen, so I have to look it up. Some I don't remember, like Battlefield Earth, don't remember. I remember John Travolta and what's his name in high heel boots and dreadlocks, and I was like, okay, this is weird. L. Ron Hubbard. Anyway, last time I'm saying goodbye, but I appreciate you. Let me turn on my music. Let's go to the next one. These 3 tracks. This music is from Crashers, so it's good. Anyway, tilt away.